Most LLCs are set up wrong, not illegally, just inefficiently. If you formed an LLC and never made a second decision after that, you are probably paying more in taxes than you have to. Quick note before we get into it. I'm an AI avatar of Askia Roberts, a licensed CPA, and every word here was written and approved by the real me. Now let's get into the exact math, not a rule of thumb, the actual dollar math for three different kinds of businesses making the same revenue: a contractor, a practice owner, a consultant, same money coming in, very different amounts going out. By the end of this, you'll know which one of them you are. Here's the part almost nobody explains clearly. An LLC is a legal structure. It protects your personal assets if the business gets sued. That's it. It does not by itself change how the IRS taxes your income. A single member LLC with no additional election is taxed exactly like a sole proprietorship. Every dollar of net profit gets hit with self-employment tax. That's 15.3% on top of your regular income tax. Not a fee, not a fluke. A structural default that most people never revisit after the day they filed their formation paperwork. It doesn't matter if you're running trucks to job sites, seeing clients in an office, or billing hours from a laptop. If you haven't made a second decision beyond forming the LLC, you're all in the same boat, and it's not the cheapest boat available. Here's the alternative. An S-corporation election lets you split your income into two pieces. One piece is a reasonable salary. You pay yourself like an employee, and that piece is subject to payroll tax. The other piece is a distribution. Profit you take out of the business that is not subject to self-employment tax at all. That gap, the part that escapes self-employment tax, is where the savings live. The IRS requires the salary to be reasonable for the work you actually do. You can't pay yourself $1 and call the rest a distribution, but inside a reasonable range, this split is completely legitimate, fully documented, and used by small business owners across every kind of business: contractors, practice owners, consultants, every single day. Let's put real numbers on it. And to be clear, these are illustrative ranges, not a promise for your specific business, because every situation depends on your actual facts. Take a business netting around $80,000 in profit with no election. Self-employment tax alone runs in the $11,000 to $12,000 range. With an S-Corp election, paying a reasonable salary and taking the rest as a distribution, the typical savings after compliance costs lands in the $4,000 to $5,500 range every year. Now scale it up. A business netting around $150,000 sees savings typically in the $9,000 to $12,000 range. Same structure, same logic, just bigger numbers. That's not a one-time savings. That's every year compounding for as long as the business runs this way. And here's the part that should bother you. This applies whether you're a contractor, a practice owner, or a consultant. The math doesn't care what your business card says. Now, the part most content like this skips because it's less exciting. This election is not free, and it's not automatically right for everyone. Running an S-Corp means payroll processing, a separate business tax return, and, ideally, a documented reasonable compensation review that typically runs $2,000 to $3,500 a year. Below roughly $50,000 to $60,000 in net profit, those costs eat most or all of the savings, and it's genuinely not worth the added complexity yet. This isn't an always do this video. It's a know your number video. If you're below that range, the election can wait. If you're above it and you haven't made this move, that's money sitting on the table every single year. You don't. Here's the thing. The exact numbers, the paperwork, and the timing all shift depending on whether you run a practice, a trades or contracting business, or a professional services firm. Every one of them has a different playbook. The link in the description goes to the right one for you. Just tell us what you run. Go back to those three people from the beginning: the contractor, the practice owner, the consultant. None of them are stuck with the number they started with. The tax code doesn't ask what's on your business card. It asks one question: did you make the decision, or did the decision get made for you by default? An LLC with no election is a default. It's not wrong. It's just usually not the cheapest option once you cross a certain point. You don't need to overhaul your business to fix this. You need about 15 minutes and the right numbers for your specific situation. That's what's waiting behind the link below.